Now, today is World Autism Awareness Day, and founders of a social enterprise working on autism projects are calling for more funding to help educate people about the condition. And they're here, Adam Bradford and Bradford Swain. Good to see you both this morning. Gents, thanks for being here. Talk us through what Bradford Swain are doing in terms of these autism projects, Adam.
Well, the business as a whole works with charities, governments, different social enterprises to help make social impact happen on all sorts of issues. And autism is one that we've focused on in the past year. It's disability is something close to both of us. And what we've done is really tried to, one, raise awareness about the condition and kind of dispel some of the stereotypes. But then secondly, look at what can change in society to make life easier for people with autism and other disabilities as well.
And Adam, you were diagnosed with Asperger's when you were around 12.
Yeah.
What has it meant for you? Because I think you're right, lots of people, they've heard of the term, but don't exactly know what it is. Yeah,
it affects hundreds of thousands of people in the UK and all around the world. And I think autism is very misunderstood. It's something that people hear about. They think, oh, it means, you know, you can't look someone in the eye, or you find it hard to make friends, or might find it hard to walk into a busy place. Sometimes that's not true. And sometimes it can mean that people with autism process the world in a different way, maybe need extra time to think about things, or might have reactions to things that are different to other people. And it's just about understanding that and giving people the space to learn about that and accept them into the workplace, into society, so that they can get on. And I had to really push for that in my career.
So, Jordan, why did you want to connect with Adam and get involved in this project?
Well, we met originally on Instagram, and I came across his work and was really impressed with just the scope of everything he was doing. And upon our first conversation on Skype, we knew that we would one day join forces and do something really powerful together. So in creating Bradford Swain, we decided to really create a company that would help empower other nonprofits, other social entrepreneurs, and governmental agencies working on issues such as diversity and inclusion, disability, and just help them raise awareness through creative campaigning, through just projects, and through agency.
Is there a sense, I mean, well, you must think there is to an extent, but you know, in terms of autism, and here in the UK particularly, that it is something we are very familiar with in terms of terminology. But as Adam was saying, there's this whole spectrum of conditions, actually, that it's such an umbrella term, isn't it, that it must be very difficult for employers and others to prepare themselves to deal with a member of staff who may be on that spectrum somewhere. Absolutely.
I think what we've seen so far is that there's a big kind of misconception that the person with autism needs to adapt themselves versus the society adapting around them. And a lot of employers really can find great value and are finding great value in hiring people that are neurodiverse and helping them to contribute to the workforce.
Neurodiverse, that's an interesting phrase. Because I mean, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it the case, certainly with some forms of autism, that actually, whereas social norms may be problematic, but actually it can bring a great deal of benefit. There's often more creativity and things of that area.
Absolutely, creativity. Finance, for example, is a known benefit. There's just a great deal of analytical and problem-solving skills. Myself, I was diagnosed with ADHD very young, and even with that, it's something that you don't necessarily, again, you get put into a box, but my mom and my dad always told me, your brain is just different. It's not a bad thing. If anything, it's a competitive advantage.
It's interesting, isn't it, with ADHD, and autism to some respect, it is seen as you can be classed as a problem child, can't you, very easily?
Very easily.
Yeah, that happened to me. When I was in my secondary school, I had a lot of bullying from the students, and then the teachers started thinking there was something wrong, so I had to very quickly move out of the school, very close to my exams. And I think we need to do a lot more as people who have these invisible disabilities to say, the pictures that are painted about us as kind of problem children or victims of the condition, which huge charities and non-profits around the world like to use as ours, needs to change, because we're not victims, we're empowered people who we've took the time to understand our own conditions and the way that affects us.
And certainly in terms of employers, that there are particular skills peculiar to you that you can bring as an addition, a positive to any business.
Yeah.
Empowered. I love that. What a positive message. Gents, thank you both very much indeed for bringing all that to our attention.
Thank you.
I love it. Empowered.
What was the term, the particular term that you used?
Neurodiversity.
Neural diversity.
Yeah, it's great that, isn't it? I love all of that.
Much more still to come on at Sunrise. We'll be sharing a tipple with a wine expert, Gilbert Winfield. But we're teetotal, so we won't be able to.
No, we won't be.
Somebody